We're being live streamed.
Hello, Skynet. We meet again.
Hello, interwebs.
Indeed.
We are back.
We are back.
How's your
everybody
Sunday
doing?
Labor Day, Malcolm?
Better than being in a building. It's cool, man. I got a chance to go out and train with a couple of my friends, so I am positively sore, which is always great. And it was kind of gross outside, and I got my shirt messed up, which meant it was perfect training. And of course, I got to go open the door now. I'll be right back.
Very cool. Well, I got, for anybody who follows me on the social medias, I have a new niece. My brother just had his third. So he's got boy, girl, girl. The boys are now officially outnumbered in the house. So I got to take a ride up to New Hampshire and hang out with the family for the day, which was lovely.
That's cool.
So,
That's cool. Family stuff.
Private lesson on the range tomorrow morning. So pew pew, yay.
Hey, what do they call it? Recoil therapy?
That is exactly what we're going for, yes.
Absolutely. I just want to hear loud bangs and smell cordite.
Yeah, it does solve a lot of the problems, doesn't it?
It does. Absolutely.
This is probably a conversation with the old band's on, but this is part of the conversation today was like, you're dealing with like therapeutic stuff in life, and there's good adaptations. I've been exercising a lot and working out, and then there's bad adaptations. I like to collect whiskey. That can go really friggin' bad, really friggin' easy. So for those watching online who have the potential to go hard left on that, one of my own personal rules is I don't drink any alcohol unless it's with other people and friends. There's no touching when alone, which is hard when the collection is prolific and amazing like mine is. So
you were a wise man. You were a wise man.
How about less stupid? I think is what I'm gonna go for.
Tomato, potato. It's interesting though, because the adaptation piece is huge when we start talking about life enhancement, because a lot of the way that I turn my brain off is by moving physically. It is hard for me to turn my brain off. I can meditation, like it's mobile meditation or it's nothing, because the idea of just like sitting still and being like, I can't do it. So for me, especially because if you've got good friends who are willing to punch you in the face when you need it, and you just because you need a little bit of risk to be able to get out of your own head, because it's really hard to be thinking about whatever bullshit is going on in your life when a nice shot lands and colors get brighter and you're like, oh, all right, I can't concentrate on that.
I was trying to explain to my dad one day, who does not get it, why riding a Harley is so relaxing. And I said, any activity that any moment in time brings the potential for death around the next corner, you cannot think about all that other stuff in life, right? So range therapy, recoil therapy, I think works based upon exactly that. You're dealing with functionally dangerous objects. You have to put all your mental energy into that, so the other stuff goes away, at least for that period in time, and in a much healthier fashion than
Then I mean, it's funny too, because this is a way longer talk that we should absolutely have with the
speaking of which.
But he's on. There you go. I feel like for some people, they're just gonna trade one coping mechanism for another. So you might as well just pick the one that makes your life suck the least, because you're gonna do something, is the argument. And that's debatable, but it's definitely one of the better ones. Hello, Mr. Miller, out in whatever exotic location.
I don't think Facebook can see it, but we have Rory Miller's iPhone with no video and no sound. So
he's here.
He may join, he may not.
He's with us in spirit. So today we
there he
is. Hey.
So what are we talking about?
Today we are nice segue. Today we are here to talk about the weirdest places we've gotten useful information that we applied to self-defense or martial arts. Now, obviously, you can get information about any number of things from any number of places. This has to be stuff that you've applied to training or doing things. Rory has one that I can think of that's kind of interesting, but I'm going to save that for later on. Maybe I'll remember it and he won't. Swiss cheese brain. But Paul, why don't you go first?
So I have two. One of them comes from that quintessential 80s movie, Roadhouse.
Hey,
which is be nice until it's time not to be nice.
that
And it
is
really does sum up, so much of the ability. We talk oftentimes about the ability to flip the switch, right?
Mhm.
And it, be nice, be nice, be nice. It's a really useful strategy until you recognize it's time to no longer be nice. And then the other one was I was 19. I was going to go on a road trip from Boston down to South Carolina. My dad did the nice thing of leaving, a couple of bucks in an envelope, and he wrote on the envelope, "You're not in Boston anymore. Keep your mouth shut. Have fun." And some old guy wrote a book about like when you don't know the rules of the place that you're going to be at, cultural differences from Boston to South Carolina are pretty different. Keep your mouth shut. Hard to get in trouble that way.
Very true. Very true. Weirdest place I got good information from. It's funny because this doesn't sound that weird when I say it out loud, but it was weird to me at the time. One of the ex-offenders who was around the community center that my family was running, we were talking about something, and I got a lot of information from those dudes. But one of the most useful things that I ever learned from him was absolutely vet your sources, because he was giving me a lot of good information. And as I was getting the information, I didn't really take it at face value because trusting those dudes was not always the best idea. But I remember just hearing him say stuff. I would go to other people who knew about whatever he said and make sure it was actually true. So he taught me really early that people are full of shit and you should make sure you check it. And I mean, there was other more like physically applicable stuff. I remember one time we were talking about fighting and he was like, what the best fighting move in the world is? And he mimicked pulling out a gun, a revolver he specified, and doing a contact shot to the sternum. And I'm not sure if that's actually the best one, but I just thought it sounded cool at the time. And of course I went and vetted it, and it turned out that wasn't actually the best move. And he was full of shit again. Rory, what about you?
I got a couple, and I just got this sprung on me, so I haven't thought it, back to any really weird stuff. But one of the best books I've ever read on teaching self-defense was a book on improvisational acting called Impro by Livingstone. And the thing about it is that the things that fuck up an improv scene are the same things that fuck up a fight. If you try to think what you're supposed to do, if you try to do anything that doesn't come from the character, if you try to stop the action, those are all things that will fucking get you killed. It was just amazing reading this book on how to react to other people, mostly verbally and positionally, and it had some of the best information on status displays. But that one, his list of things that fuck up a improv scene are the exact same list of things that fuck up a fight. And that was really surprising to me. As you do this more and more, you're going to find more stuff. You're going to get so familiar with stuff inside that you're going to start looking outside to find stuff. And one of the others that comes to mind, I can't remember where I got it. I can't remember if it was CNT training or whatever, but sometimes you cut off information. If you know that someone is telling you something, no matter how true or not true it is, for the purpose of manipulating you, cut it off. Don't try to fix it. It's like, so when I see on the TV scene, they'll stay on the line. I'll tell you what to do to say. If the person's going to fucking lie to you, hang up and put them on the defensive. So now Paul's eyes just went up to one side. He's thinking something.
Yeah, but nothing I can put on live on Facebook.
So you said there were, do we have any comments, Paul, from our audience?
Well, Amy said she's gonna miss the fireside chat. She's at a wedding, and then she was asking about the Chiron cohort schedule for September. We're gonna noodle that a little bit, Amy. I think the first actual meeting will be on Tuesday. We'll I'll probably tomorrow morning put a post up once I get clarification from my compatriots here. And then Gabe Cohen Josh Amos said hi, and then Gabe Cohen put an interesting one, said being homeless, lots of hard lessons learned about violence, situational, and environmental awareness.
Yeah.
And Josh
Seems like
say hi on the chat. He's right fucking here. He's across the table from me.
oh, that makes it way better.
Yeah.
You guys are weird.
Guys are weird. Just said that. Malcolm said we're weird. All right.
Yep. Absolutely.
Malcolm said it.
I did. One of the interesting things about getting good information is I feel like there's always a degree of mental flexibility that's necessary to be good at anything at a reasonably high level, right? You have to be able to incorporate stuff from unconventional sources or from your own realizations. And I feel like that involves confidence. And so it begs a question. Do you feel like part of the reason people have trouble bringing in information from varieties of sources is because they lack the confidence to check their own bullshit or trust their bullshitometer for external stuff? Do you think people are scared?
I think a lot of people are not willing to give themselves the permission to adapt useful information. Okay. Sensei hasn't said it, so it can't be true.
That's true. Insert guru here. Rory, what do you think?
Speaking of guru.
I'm not sure if fear is the right word so much as, especially if you've got a big ego, the idea that you don't already know it all. And being willing to walk into that doubt. If you can accept that you like that philosopher's name I can never remember, in an infinite universe you're wrong. It's once you accept that you're wrong and it's okay to be wrong, that's where all the good learning lies. Then I think a lot of that goes away. But people with their ego attached to that can't admit that they're wrong, can't admit that they don't know. Ask any expert a question outside his field, and you've got a good one if he's willing to say, I have no fucking clue. But most people will make something up rather than admit that they don't know. And you catch yourself doing that is a huge sign. Never get uncomfortable saying, I don't know.
I feel compelled to say I don't know right now. No one even asked me a question.
You're a better person, clearly. So
clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's an interesting thing because one of the places that I notice it is you get people kind of trying to fact check as if like there's some really good data out there that they're waiting to see. And I'm like, you realize a lot of this is cobbled together, kind of. Not my favorite one is the LAPD, the 98% or whatever the percentage was of fights end on the ground. Yeah, when you're arresting motherfuckers, usually, that's usually how it goes.
Makes good marketing.
Well,
we're not doing that.
That's something really Swiss cheese brain moment. It's not just that they're looking, that they think that there's facts out there and they don't recognize how cobbled together they are. And we talked about this before, this subject in particular, there's no good science because it hasn't been legal to do experiment that involves fear or danger since the 70s. So almost everything's anecdotal, but also most people are looking something that when they're fact checking, they're looking for a fact that confirms their worldview.
Absolutely.
That they were shying away from any fact that might challenge it. But again, that's where the growth happens. So
I feel like fear might be a good word. But Paul, we got any more comments? Because for once, I'm going to actually aim to be on time and not just keep rambling.
Not at the moment.
Cool.
So we're clear.
Well,
okay. Now, join up with you guys at sometime later because we're going to be hitting the road sooner or later. So I'll just finish in the car for the group chat.
Cool. Okay. Sounds good. All right, Facebook land and rest of the interwebs. We are going to go into a more thorough discussion of places we've gotten crazy information from and maybe come up with some ideas about how to be more open-minded and flexible, confident, and being willing to stay in our confusion, questioning, or even ignorance. So if you want to join in, please do join the Patreon. It's $10 a month. Yes, crass commercialism rears its ugly head. About the amount that you'd pay for some shit at Starbucks, I don't know because I don't drink it. Either way, you should jump in. We want to continue the conversation, and we really do mean conversation. So if you've got thoughts, leave them in the comments or jump on the fireside chat, and we'll walk them out.
Okay, and Malcolm, Remember to ask me about my mom's bar fighting technique.
Mom bar fighting technique. I am not going to forget that. There's not enough Swiss cheese brain in the world for me to forget wanting to hear that damn story. So
Yeah,
see,
me too.
see everybody later.
All right.
Rory, hang on for 1 second. Don't hang up yet.